A plane crash shocked the residents of Northeast Philadelphia on a seemingly ordinary day. The sun was shining, and people were going about their daily routines, unaware of the impending disaster. The incident occurred in the late afternoon, forever changing the landscape of the quiet neighborhood. What was once a peaceful area was suddenly thrust into chaos and confusion. The small aircraft, descending from the sky, crashed into a residential area. The plane's descent was rapid and uncontrollable, leaving little time for anyone to react. The impact sent shockwaves through the community, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Homes were destroyed, and lives were forever altered in an instant. The crash occurred on January 12, 2025, at approximately 4:45 p.m. EST. It was a moment that would be etched into the memories of those who witnessed it. The plane came down in the Tacony neighborhood, a community known for its rows of houses and tree-lined streets. This serene setting was abruptly transformed into a scene of devastation. The impact site was located on the 7200 block of Marsden Street, a street of modest single-family homes. These homes, once a symbol of comfort and security, were now reduced to rubble. The crash sent debris scattering across the neighborhood, igniting fires that quickly spread to nearby homes. The flames consumed everything in their path, leaving a charred landscape behind. The explosion shook the ground, shattering windows and sending plumes of thick black smoke billowing into the sky. The air was filled with the acrid smell of burning materials. The sound of the impact and the subsequent explosion could be heard for miles, drawing the attention of residents and first responders alike. Sirens wailed as emergency personnel rushed to the scene, trying to bring order to the chaos. The immediate aftermath of the crash was a scene of chaos and confusion. Residents poured out of their homes, many visibly shaken by the events unfolding before their eyes. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and jet fuel, a potent reminder of the tragedy that had just struck their community. Emergency services were quick to respond to the scene. Firefighters, police officers, and paramedics arrived within minutes, their sirens wailing as they navigated through the debris-strewn streets. The first priority was to contain the raging fire and tend to any potential victims. The crash resulted in multiple casualties. 2 individuals on board the aircraft were confirmed dead at the scene. 3 residents on the ground sustained injuries, ranging from minor burns to smoke inhalation. They were immediately transported to nearby hospitals for treatment. As firefighters worked tirelessly to extinguish the flames, investigators began the arduous task of determining the cause of the crash. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, dispatched a team of experts to the site, their mission to piece together the events leading up to the tragic incident. The wreckage of the aircraft, a mangled heap of metal and wires, lay scattered across the crash site. Investigators carefully documented the scene, collecting evidence and interviewing witnesses. The plane's black box, a crucial piece of equipment that records flight data and cockpit audio, was recovered and sent for analysis. The cause of the crash remains unknown at this time. Investigators are exploring all possible factors, including mechanical failure, pilot error, and weather conditions. The investigation is expected to be lengthy and complex, involving the analysis of flight data, witness testimonies, and the aircraft's maintenance records. The crash left an indelible mark on the residents of Marsden Street. Those who witnessed the horrifying event firsthand recounted their experiences with a mix of shock and disbelief. Their stories provide a glimpse into the terrifying moments that unfolded on that fateful afternoon. "I was in my backyard when I heard this loud roaring sound," said Sarah Miller, a resident who lives 2 doors down from the crash site. "I looked up and saw the plane coming down at a weird angle. It was like something out of a movie, just surreal." Another resident, John Thompson, described the impact as an earth-shattering boom. He said, "I felt the whole house shake. When I ran outside, I saw flames shooting into the sky. It was like something out of a nightmare." Community in shock. The plane crash sent shockwaves through the Tacony neighborhood and beyond. The close-knit community, known for its strong bonds and friendly atmosphere, was left reeling from the tragedy that had struck so unexpectedly. Residents struggled to come to terms with the loss of life and the destruction that had visited their doorstep. In the hours and days following the crash, an outpouring of support emerged from the community and beyond. Neighbors rallied around those who had lost their homes, offering shelter, clothing, and words of comfort. Local businesses donated food and supplies while volunteers helped to distribute aid and clean up debris. The crash served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of community. Despite the tragedy, the spirit of resilience and compassion shone through as residents came together to support one another in their time of need. The investigation begins. As the community began the long process of healing, investigators continued their work to determine the cause of the crash. The scene was somber, with families and friends coming together to support each other in this time of grief. The community's resilience was evident as they faced the aftermath of the tragedy. The NTSB, the lead agency in the investigation, conducted a thorough examination of the wreckage, reviewed air traffic control recordings, and interviewed witnesses. Each piece of evidence was meticulously analyzed to piece together the events leading up to the crash. The investigators left no stone unturned in their quest for answers. Preliminary findings indicated that the aircraft, a single-engine Piper PA-28, had taken off from Northeast Philadelphia Airport, located just a few miles from the crash site. The flight path was carefully mapped out to understand the sequence of events. The plane was en route to Atlantic City International Airport in New Jersey when it went down. The intended destination was a routine flight path, making the crash all the more perplexing. The pilot, an experienced aviator with no prior history of incidents, was the sole occupant of the aircraft. His extensive flying experience added another layer of mystery to the investigation. The investigation focused on several key areas, including the aircraft's maintenance records, the pilot's medical history, and weather conditions at the time of the crash. Each factor was scrutinized to rule out any potential causes. The NTSB also examined the possibility of bird strikes, which have been known to cause aircraft accidents. This line of inquiry was crucial, as bird strikes can lead to catastrophic failures in flight. The long road to recovery. The plane crash left a trail of physical and emotional scars on the Tacony neighborhood. The once peaceful community was thrown into chaos, with residents grappling with the sudden loss and devastation. The homes damaged by the fire and explosion were uninhabitable, displacing several families. Many residents found themselves without a place to call home, their lives turned upside down in an instant. The city of Philadelphia, along with local and national organizations, mobilized resources to provide temporary housing, financial assistance, and counseling services to those affected by the tragedy. Volunteers from all over came together, showing the strength and resilience of the human spirit. The process of rebuilding and healing will take time. Construction workers and community members have started the long journey of repairing homes and cleaning up the neighborhood. The physical damage to the homes and infrastructure will need to be repaired, but the emotional toll on the community will likely linger for years to come. Counseling services have been set up to help residents cope with the trauma. The city of Philadelphia committed to providing long-term support to the residents of Tacony, ensuring that they have access to the resources they need to rebuild their lives. Community meetings have been held to keep residents informed and involved in the recovery process. The crash served as a reminder of the importance of emergency preparedness and the need for comprehensive support systems for communities affected by disasters. Training sessions and disaster drills have been organized to better prepare for future emergencies. The city of Philadelphia vowed to review its emergency response protocols and to work with community leaders to enhance disaster preparedness and response efforts. This collaborative approach aims to build a more resilient community ready to face any future challenges. Looking ahead, the plane crash in Northeast Philadelphia was a tragic event that shook a community to its core. While the investigation into the cause of the crash continues, the focus remains on supporting the victims, their families, and the community as they navigate the long road to recovery. The outpouring of support from neighbors, local organizations, and people across the country is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. As the community rebuilds, the memories of those lost will forever be etched in the hearts of those who knew them. The lessons learned from this tragedy will hopefully serve as a catalyst for improved aviation safety, enhanced disaster preparedness, and a renewed commitment to community support in times of crisis. Join us in supporting the ongoing recovery efforts. Visit our website to learn how you can help. Together, we can make a difference.